over some emails. We're going to go have a conversation about what's going on. I hope everybody's doing great today. Lots are going on. I just find it funny. Did anybody notice that, we've had a lot of people talking mad cash stuff about, Seth and Tony and everything like that. And one particular creator, she used to be a friend, was sitting there teasing this father that's innocent, is missing his son, because he doesn't like his PR guy. He doesn't like his spokesperson guy, rather, because he's not a PR guy. He's a spokesperson, much different stuff. And one of the things he said is like, oh, where's the national news? Where's the national news? These things are set up, significantly most of the time in advance. And so there was the News Nation thing, and I saw Seth on there, and you could just, this is wearing on him, I mean, you can physically see this loss of his son, not being able to find his son, is just literally wearing on this man. Like it's going out of style. He looked exhausted. He looked worn down. He looked considerably more upset than we've seen him in a really long time. Hey, Sorta Morta. Jules, it's nice to see you. River was at a concert rocking out last night. It's nice to see you, my love. Emma, Donna, Crystal, Rapper is up in the house. MJ, Freestyle, Nola's mom. It's nice to see you, love bug. Peggy, Stacy, Bonnie's Journey. Good morning, love. Good morning. Rebecca, Lisa B. Always. Thank you. Sonia, it's nice to see you. Sam, good morning. Stephanie, it's nice to see you as well. SRK, Peachy. Peachy, sorry, it was dumb. I just looked at it just wrong. Woozy Koozy, nice to see you. Diana, Shannon, PC Geek. Oh, we have a PC Geek in the house. You need to send me your information. I'm ready to blow up my computer. Robin, it's nice to see you. Good morning, everyone. It's great to have you. So we're covering the case of Sebastian Rogers, the 15-year-old that disappeared from inside his locked home. Larry, it's nice to see you. With his mother. Everything when she woke up that morning was locked and secured. There was no way anybody could get in. And if there was, Chris reminds us, there's that camera across the street, and they would have gotten a figure of some sort going in the house. But they didn't get a figure like Sebastian Rogers walking out of the house. It just seemed a little odd. So we've been kind of focusing on, without going through the whole kit and caboodle, we don't really believe the story. The bottom line is we don't believe the story that the Proudfoots put forward. We're looking into that aspect of the case more so than anything because, excuse me, I'm having hiccups this morning, because nothing else seems to work. Seth was at work. He didn't have anything to do with this. He was on camera. We look at other people, was anybody following that day? They were adamant that this is not anything to do with an abduction, and that there was no reason for him to leave. There was no fighting in the house. They were living this perfect, quiet, normal American life, nothing to see over here, and they just can't understand why their son, Chris's stepson, would just, get up and walk out of the house. And like Katie said, she would understand, if there had been a reason, they had some problems, right? So we've been looking at a lot of this, and people have really been stepping up to the plate and sending me a lot of the stuff that they've been hearing, a lot of their perspectives, a lot of, what they've been hearing from different platforms. A lot of people get information from Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and you guys are all over the place, okay? I wish I could be. I wish I could be a million of me's, but I'm not. I'm just one. And so you guys send me stuff, and it's super, super, super helpful. And so one of these things is this clip. And this clip was interesting. It was on the Nancy Grace, but again, something that didn't make sense to us at the time. Let me see if I can find the exact one. And I probably didn't, but I know I would have saved it in my YouTube because I believe it was on YouTube. Give me just a second. I just saw it this morning. I know it's like right here. And it is. It's the Nancy Grace interview. Let me go back. And I think I've already got it set up right on the spot that I need it.
February.
No, I do not. So I think it was at 57:30. It's 57:30. So we'll go back. I think it's this one right here.
Because of safety reasons, due to the YouTubers, the Facebookers out there that have sent some very heinous, threatening information.
And I just want to say this. I want to say this for the record. He's talking about people and YouTubers threatening him. Well, I'm going out there to search for his missing stepson. And right now I have a person that he asked for help, that he went to her channel and asked her for help. And now she is publicly threatening to do bodily harm to me. And everybody is blowing this off. We are true crime. We should denounce any type of violence. And you've got creators sitting here actually entertaining the masses, inciting the masses to injure another creator on this platform physically. And people think that that is okay, and it is not. You may think it's fun and games, but you don't know what it's like being me. I have been stalked. I have been assaulted. My family has been, you guys have no idea. You think it's fun and games because you're on that end of this. I would love to see you on this side of it. So be careful what you say because people aren't like you and you may take it as a joke, but somebody else may not. You guys are playing with my life. You're inciting people to hurt me. I'm out here looking for a missing child, and these are people associated with Christopher and Katie Proudfoot. Everybody kept saying people were getting threatened. People were getting threatened. Nobody knows where the threats are coming from. This, that, or the other. Well, I can tell you right now that I was threatened by somebody associated with Chris and Katie Proudfoot. And I take that very, very, very seriously. So I don't know if other people were threatened by people associated with Christopher and Katie Proudfoot, but I know I have been publicly. And so I will be filing a complaint as soon as I get there. And I know this creator doesn't care about going to jail. It's pretty funny that you're in true crime, covering true crime, but don't mind committing crimes. And people go to you for their criminal news or for their criminal content or how to get away with murder. I'm just curious what type of content creator you are. I hope everybody goes over there and unsubscribes from her. And I hope everybody reports that video where she's publicly threatening me. I'm going out there to search for a kid. Don't try to get clout off my name. If I'm coming there to protest, I will be protesting, and there ain't a freaking thing that fat cow is going to be able to do about it. There's nothing their law enforcement's going to be able to do about it. But you come and touch me, you threaten me, you got some problems. You got some problems. And people supporting somebody acting and stating something that they're going to use violence against somebody else, going real life against another creator, just advocating for a child. I haven't said nothing about this woman. I haven't attacked this woman. She has attacked me, and now she's physically threatening me. So if I see her there, I'm going to take it as a threat. If she comes around me, I'm going to take it as action on her words. And I will be immediately filing a restraining order against her. I do not play with my safety. You guys can talk your shit, but when you start threatening me, I will take action on that. And then for JLR's Facebook group to condone the action and support it, and then actually egg it on. My ex egging on the fact that I get physically assaulted. But hey, he's a great guy, great Christian guy. Gotcha. Okay, perfect. Perfect. They've had the ability to take it down, and they have chose not to do so. I am highly considering filing a lawsuit against JLR at this point for everything he has done to me. And just get it all done, because there's going to be more to come. Not just him. There's stuff that's going to be coming out of this other lawsuit I'm involved in that is going to also initiate some other things. And those people are already well aware that I am going to be suing them as well. So there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I'm just tired of the stuff. I'm tired of people thinking my life is disposable. I'm a human being, and I'm doing a job, and if they don't like it, that's their problem. But you don't get to physically assault me or intimidate me. This is America, and you cannot do that. This is not China. And if you want a ticket to China, we will sponsor you and your family to move to a communist country where they will dictate you, not me. So let me be very clear on that. This is not a joke. She threatened me. I'm coming out there to search for a boy. She's associated with the Proudfoots, and she threatened me with bodily harm. This is not a joke. And people need to wake up. So anyways, getting back to this. This is a part in this, I think it's where it's going into the forensics. There's some other part in here. We're going to go through the emails because I've already starred the emails. So we will be going through the emails and making sure we don't miss anything. But this is about the forensic. It makes me wonder, maybe they did do forensics, we just don't know it. Because it sounds like they were in and out of that house so much that both Katie and Chris's heads were spinning. I don't know if they would have noticed, at least in his room. I don't know. Because you know what? I can't imagine them missing them putting plastic bags up over the windows. They would have had to have had the room utterly, completely dark in order for to do the blue star or luminol testing.
Threatened to be outside of our house, all kinds of nasty things that we're not disclosing our location at this time, unless you're law enforcement.
Ms. Proudfoot, is that one of the reasons you left the home?
One of them, yes, ma'am.
Question to you guys, when police came in and processed your home, did they look with, for instance, luminol? Did they check? What did they do when they searched your home?
They thoroughly searched my home with many different things. They removed some things for the dogs to hold the scent, and for Sebastian's DNA, I know that they used thermal night vision, thank you. And I don't know exactly all of the tools that they use, but I do know that multiple different searches were done on my home by many different people, detectives, sheriffs, and a few others.
Yeah, I wouldn't swear that the forensics folks showed up or not, because there were so many folks in and out of the house that it was just, hi, I'm so-and-so with law enforcement, I'm so-and-so with law enforcement. Okay.
Every time they said we need to look, please.
Somebody's saying Blue is in, who's Blue? Blue is in my chat. I don't know who Blue is. Who's Blue? I don't see Blue. Bunker. What physical threat proof? Yeah, your video. I've already captured it. If you're associated with that fat pig over there that wants to threaten me, you need to stay the hell out of my chat and stay away from me. I'm going to tell you that right now. You and your girlfriend don't want to be sitting here threatening me, and you do not want to come around me when I'm in Tennessee. I will tell you that right now. I don't give a fuck who you are. You're not going to threaten me. You're not going to intimidate me. You understand me? Punk? I don't know who the hell that is, but I tell you what. He is. Don't ever come and intimidate me. You got the wrong bitch. I'll tell you that right now. Threaten me. Double dog dare you to threaten me. Come near me while I'm in Tennessee. I will have you and your fat fucking pig arrested. I want nothing to do with you. You stay away from me. I consider both of you guys threats. Let me see them on my camera. Don't ever threaten me.
Does Sebastian have a hardwood floor or a carpeted floor?
In his bedroom.
Carpet.
Yes.
That's going to be good.
Carpeted.
That's going to be good. So we got carpet. That's going to be good. Why was that asked? Well, it doesn't matter what flooring you have. If there's any type of fluids, it's going to go under. It's going to go all the way under. But what she's looking for is you know, because fluids like blood, they can, with a good cleaning, which we know the house has been cleaned, I will tell you that the carpet, under the padding is where a lot of that stuff resides. And the blood kind of pools, and if there's any pits in the concrete or something like that, it'll pool in there, even though it looks like the carpet, there's no staining on the carpet to the naked eye. Well, that's the same for, say, bodily fluids, you know, because it is my, well, exactly, don't threaten me. You can talk all the Mad Cash shit you want. You don't ever hear me saying anything about that channel or the trash, and you don't ever have our people going over there causing problems. None of these channels that talk shit about me. We don't send our people over there. We don't distract them. We don't try to stop them. We don't interfere with their shows or anything like that. They do that over here constantly and consistently because they ain't getting the clicks and the views without using my name. I never have to use their name. I never put anybody else's name in my title other than my victims, typically. So there is that. And I'm getting sick and tired of people just trashing me when I'm out here doing good. If I want to protest, there ain't a fucking thing any of those people will do about it. It is a constitutional right. Interfering with it is interfering with my constitutional rights. You can't do shit about it, boo-boo. Nothing. But I'll be in the woods, and I don't think your fat ass is going to be chomping out there in the woods. It doesn't look like that's your cup of tea, boo-boo. So leave it to the freaking professionals, boo-boo. Threaten me again. Double dog dare you. So we do know who the threats are coming from. They're coming from Chris and Katie Proudfoot's camp. Period. This is not looking good for Chris and Katie Proudfoot. And trust me, we got all got fluffy families. I ain't talking, you know what? Just saying. My aunts and uncles can handle it, so can y'all. I'm just saying. Oh, June, you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about it. I just want people to know you're not going to intimidate me. You're not going to threaten me. And I swear to God, now that it's been done, the next time I see them, then they're acting on that threat. And that's the way I'm going to be taking it.
Did they remove any carpeting?
No, ma'am.
Do you feel confident?
I feel like in my heart that they did not do the forensics. I just feel like in my heart of hearts they did not do the forensics. I don't know why I think they did not do the forensics, but I just don't feel they did the blessed forensics. I just don't. I really don't. We also have here we go. This is and it's okay. So that was from Eminem. That was from Eminem too. She's the one that sent that over for about the Proudfoot's homes, the forensics in the Proudfoot home. We have the traffic cameras. Wendy believes that he was living in hell. And I thought this was interesting. So I came across YouTube from April 2nd, 2024 by Novesty. Very compelling statement from Seth. At the 1:23 timestamp, Seth calls into, I think it's Noves? I don't know. Novesty? I don't know what my Hooked on Phonics is broken. I'll get back to you guys' questions here in just a minute. Please keep in mind that we know LE has withheld or even lied about facts of the case. Could they have said the glasses were not Sebastian, but they actually are? Just an opinion. Seth tells him his searchers found the glasses and they were close to the Bowersock's house. He gives the address. Seth also says he was 90% certain they were Sebastian's. TBI said they found the glasses. At timestamp 1 hour, 29 minutes, Seth says, I want to find my son. I want to bring him home. I want to keep him out of the hell he's been in that I didn't know about. I want to apologize for not knowing. That has got to be heartbreaking. That's got to be heartbreaking. At 1 hour, 33 minute timestamps, there's a map of where the glasses were found near the Bowersocks. At the 1 hour, 52 timestamps, he gives information about the reward fund. The reward fund that everybody has done everything they can to prevent Seth from raising. Content creators in true crime have prevented them from raising, but don't mind raising their own funds in their own bank accounts. I think that's pretty heartless if you ask me. But let's go ahead and listen to this. So the first one's going to be at the 1 hour and 23 minute timestamp. So 1 hour, 23 minute timestamp. Let's get here.
Because I want to help. I'm very passionate about this. I really want to help. Is there anything that you can say about any new details because of this update that they just gave us this morning? Is there anything that you can say to us that you could provide?
Well, my volunteers are the ones that found the glasses.
Whoa, wait. Your volunteers?
Sebastian's Army.
So I'll be right back. I gotta go grab my baby real quick, and then I'll be right back. So they found the glasses, and this brings the whole polarization about the glasses right back, right? The whole polarization of the glasses, because, you know, we know that law enforcement deceived us about the garbage truck. Is it possible that remember, we forgot about the glasses. They told us they weren't of any evidentiary value. They most likely weren't Sebastian's. But now we're seeing connections that might actually put some weight behind the Bowersox home. It was close to the Bowersox home. Could it have been a connection? I don't know. But it definitely is a concern. And it was at a driveway of all things. I think, like in a driveway, possibly smushed, possibly. I don't know, but I found it interesting. Let's just keep listening.
They didn't, hold on, PD and their search team didn't find the glasses? Your volunteers found it?
My volunteers found it, yes. I didn't watch the press conference. They say that they found them.
Your volunteers found and let me ask you, since you're his father, can you confirm that it is his glasses? Like, just by looking at it, can you confirm?
I looked at the glasses and I had them bag and tag them because if they're not his glasses, they are really close.
I would think a man would know what his son's glasses looks like. From my understanding, he had just recently got new glasses or something within the last, because we saw the picture of him, at the glass store trying on glasses, and it looked like a recent photo. So it seems like he may have just changed his prescriptions or his frames, but I don't know that to be true because I don't know when that photo was taken. It may have been taken 2 years ago for all I know. But I just thought it was quite interesting that we do have that. Now, she did say some other areas in here. He wants them home, so we'll start listening from 129 to 133, and then we'll go from 152 to 154. So 129 to 133.
I mean, they're close enough that
129. This thing would quit jumping on me.
Your son. And he did.
This one from the phone, I tell you what, it's not easy because you move your hand. Never.
I hear terrible fathers, Stephen Stearns, people like that I have worked on cases close to these families. And you're going to apologize? You don't need to apologize. How could you have known? Everything has been pointing out to you being a loving father, and you're out there looking for your son, and he disappears in the house where Chris is at. No disrespect, where Katie's at, not your house. You are doing a phenomenal job, and I know you want to find your son, and I know that. You have people in my chat that DM me. I got hundreds, Seth, of messages. People in my chat right now saying they can hear the pain in your voice. And we know that. That's why I do this for you. I do this for your son. Absolutely.
Okay.
You're a phenomenal father. Don't take that away from you, brother, please. And I know you said that you didn't know this was going on, and I want to ask you that. When we talked about that, so did Nancy Grace, and I piggybacked off of her. When Chris said that disciplining your child, was you not knowing of that?
No, I wasn't.
And let me tell you something about that, Steph. You can go back to my podcast, and I said this, and correct me if I'm wrong. I said, and I knew, if you would have known about that, you definitely would have done something. Is that correct?
Of course.
So this whole illusion that, you know, everybody's trying to paint Seth knowing that this abuse occurred, it did not occur. And then there's one other spot in here, and it was the map of where the glasses were found. Ooh, that should be interesting. Let's look at the map. 133. Oh, I think it's up there. That is it. So let me see if I can put this up here. Ah. So I think it's this right here. I think this is where it was at. Hutch Court, 210 Hutch Court. Right there is where the glasses were found, which I think is right. It's right down the street from the Bowersock's home. So I think that's what was interesting. You know, we and it's not that we personally, I don't think whoever wrote that email is they may be accusing, you know, I would believe that law enforcement would deceive us. They've already deceived us once in an effort for this case. I don't know how much more we found that we don't know we found because law enforcement dismissed it publicly. It doesn't necessarily mean it's so. We did get a map for the trip. I've got to replicate this map for this trip because we did get a map for the trip, and it appears that based on this map, of course it won't. There we go. It shows a 2 hour and 7 minute trip to, I know it's hard for me to focus it with the camera. It won't do it, but if you look right here, it's 2 hours and 7 minutes, wherever my finger is, 2 hours and 7 minutes with this particular drive. But again, I haven't been able to replicate that. And again, it's a photocopy. So with the photocopy, I've got to be able to replicate it. If the person that sent me the photocopy actually did this in their map, send me the link to the map. It'll save me a lot of time of trying to have to manually recreate this trip. There should be a link that you can share with me on the map, where it's to share this map or something. It's on Apple Map or Google Map. But if you can hit that and share the link to this particular trip en route to Memphis, I'd greatly appreciate it because it'll, again, save me a boatload of time. I'm only on Betty and Seth and Sebastian's side. Well, we're all just on Sebastian's side, you know. It's just that this case got a little crazy and people are being nasty. And they're being nasty because we're staying focused and people don't like it. People don't like it because they're throwing stuff out that's untrue to get a click and a view, and we're shutting it down quicker than they can make the money off of the bullshit. Excuse my language. And so they're angry with me, and that's okay. Let them be angry. Let them throw their temper tantrums. And I told you, when they start insulting you, you've already won. And so now we see them raining down on my head. I've won, right? We've had this right the whole time while they were playing stupid. Period. Also, we are also learning that the sheriff did actually have an Amber Alert listed on February 22nd, or 27th, the exact day over, or the next day over. And it was right before noon, but everybody, there's a lot of people that say even in the Tennessee community, that said they never received an Amber Alert on their phone. So I don't know what that whole Amber Alert situation is, but I know that they have to imply abduction or at least have a car. We found that car that they had to have used to get that Amber Alert. And when we match the back end of it, which is the only real noticeable thing about the car, it appears that it's an Infinity back, which could go to Katie's car or his mother, Kathy Bowersock's. According to the neighbors, Katie's car did not leave the garage after it went in. And people are talking about the power. Well, the garages typically don't go up without power unless you release them from the actual door opener, which is a pain in the butt. I mean, it's easy to pull, but you know, sometimes it's harder to re-engage it. So I don't know. I mean, it seems like it would have been a lot of work to kill the power and try to sneak her car out. It just seems like an awful lot of work that would have been picked up on someone's camera. So I feel like the infinity that was used was not one from inside or associated with that home, like inside the garage. I think it was like a family members, potentially. But this is what the sheriff said at the time, and I thought that this was interesting for a few key factors.
Welcome.
I think it starts right at 2:32.
Apparently doesn't sleep a lot at night, and he's more active at night, and probably sleeps more in the day. So we hope he's laying down and resting, and we just want to.
So I think this right here, this idea that Katie put her son down and he went right to sleep that night, doesn't bode with every single night of his life where she struggles to get him down and rested because he's up all hours of the day and night. That's his normal routine because he's autistic and he has problems sleeping, and he's awake a lot. So Katie came out the gate telling us she had no problems putting him to bed that night, which was an absolute lie, because according to everything she told law enforcement, she has problems putting him to bed and getting him to rest every night. So why would she lie about that? Way, way, way up front like that. That she had no problems putting him to, that he had no problems going to sleep that day. It seems a little odd to me. Let me get up here and start reading some stuff. Sorry, guys. Beautiful Disaster, it's nice to see you. If I could, I would travel to Tennessee and stay in shoulder to shoulder with you. Aw, thank you. Yeah, the threats are, how can you be advocating for a missing child that most likely succumbed to violence while peddling and standing on a platform that peddles violence? You either are for violence or you're against violence, but people that are against violence don't call for it publicly. I'm just saying. That doesn't sound like somebody that's really advocating for missing children or true crime, does it? Because you've never heard me advocate for somebody being injured or hurt on my platform ever. Ever. As a matter of fact, you don't ever hear me saying anything about these content creators unless they come after me. I never just go out and randomly say, oh, I want to pick on this person today. They do that to me. And it usually has to do with the fact that they have low views and they need to get them. And when you put Bullhorn Betty in your title, you get a few extra views. So who's really in here for the clicks and the views? He was pointing out that ray lights were taken down when he went missing and are now back up. Yeah, but we need to look at footage from at their house from that day. You know, looking at footage from their house days later or weeks later, when we didn't even get involved in this case until 8 days later. We don't know when those lights were put up or when they were brought down, and we're making an assumption of that. So we need to find video footage of that house before that day or during that day to see what was up there and what was not up there. The lights are going to be easy because they don't need to remove lights to turn lights off. Even ones that come on automatically, they're on a fuse, or not a fuse, they're on a breaker. You just click the breaker, they don't come on even if they're motion sensors. There's a way to trigger your motion sensors with a switch to keep them on all the time and not motion. You just flip it up and flip it down, and you have to flip it up again to turn the motion back on, typically is how it works, because I used to put them in. And so you can actually take a motion light, and by flipping the switch right, turning it in from a motion light just to a regular on and off light. Somebody in the electrical would know that, right? I've done it many times. I have to go weed my tortoise enclosure. Oh, you got a tortoise enclosure. That sounds pretty cool. I gotta go weed my tortoise enclosure. Do you really have actual tortoises? That's kind of cool. Or is that just like decor? Sorry, garage light. Gotcha. I can't believe so many people are threatening. Oh, you should know. It's just passing the buck from one hand. It's just trying to complicate my lawsuit with one particular creator, I think, is what they're capitalizing on this, but it doesn't matter because I keep everything so straight and so documented that it all dovetails with one another anyways. So he also told her that searchers need to go northwest 10 miles. Yeah, I think he was throwing people off. I think he was intentionally trying to throw people off because that was earlier on in the process. Nola's mom, that would be great if you can make it an email. Nola's mom sends me a lot of emails. Yeah, I've been communicating with Nola's mom for some time. Actually, I think I got a couple emails in here from her that we were going to be talking about. I'm 2 hours away, never got an Amber Alert. Yeah, exactly. Wonderful. That's what we have to do. Keep Sebastian alive. We have to keep on our focus, everything, bringing him home. Right. And that's what we've been doing. That's why people are attacking me, because I'm not getting into the weeds and it's making him look bad. You got to look at it that way. Right now, this Bullhorn Betty channel is making a lot of people look bad that want to focus on insignificant crap and fight over stupid shit instead of fighting for this boy. And I just came in here and pretty much put my foot down. I know people watch me. I know I have a platform. I know I can use my mouth, and I know I can expose a whole lot. And that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm no longer keeping the crap that they did to me behind the scenes off online. I know the groups of people that are doing it, and I know which groups of people are doing it at which times. So, and right now we have the head cockroach, Mr. Roach, leading the charge against me, which I've been trying to tell everybody. I was like, oh, he would never do that. He would never do that. Well, the proof's in the pudding. Now he's got me blocked out of a channel that's advocating for me to have violence done to me. Okay, you can't make that stuff up. And I actually reached out to him and told him to take it down, and it's still up. He's an admin, so clearly he is absolutely, without a doubt, perpetrating it. He has the administrative abilities to remove it, and he's choosing to keep it up, which is only putting me in danger. Just saying. And that's his choice. But he's making that choice. Just saying.
Spirit vibe, an inmate in the Hernando County.
So getting back on to our emails. We got a lot. Sorry, guys. I'm getting there's been a lot going on today. So we heard that. Thank you, Maui, for that. We've got, I'm not going to read your whole email, Misty, because your email is really, really, really long-winded. I love Misty. She thinks outside the box, though. She thinks outside the box. But I am going to bring this up. I'll read like the first two paragraphs here. It says, I think Sebastian and Seth, if you are in here, please don't be in here. This is going to get a little hairy, and I haven't seen Seth in here this morning, but if he is in here, don't be watching from the bushes. Just go get yourself a cup of coffee for about 5 minutes, and you can come back in. I think Sebastian was put in the freezer at an undisclosed place close to the home until C had that 17-hour trip, because C needs to get rid of Sebastian fast to be able to hurry up and drive back to work. That's why Sebastian wasn't found by searchers. I wonder if Terry or Melissa or other family members, Chris who hunts, if they own a hunting cabin and uses their freezer at the hunting cabin, or, just a freezer. I thought that was interesting. We know that would be the best. And you know what? That goes in line. The reason why I honed in on that is because I had just received an email from another watcher. I'm not going to bring her name up, but apparently her and her husband are both in the military. And I think it's this one right here. No, that's not it. And so I was communicating with this particular person, and I can't find the email, so hopefully I don't mess this up. But she was a little confused about what I was truly asking, but I think she answered my question all the same, and I had just read it before Misty's. And she said, what would we do as training? What are you asking us? What would we do in the amount of time that he had, or this, that, and the other? Or were you asking us if we had to make a decision, how would we, take care of the package? And I really am trying to find out how somebody would take care of the package. But I also want them to keep in mind that, we do have some weird timing here, like that 17 hours, which equates to, in all fairness, about 10 to 12 hours, because I still have, I'm now putting that 2-hour trip to Memphis in there as a possibility until I have an opportunity to try to recreate that map. But he might have had up to 12 hours. If we can get that time down to 2.5 hours drive time from Memphis to Hendersonville, then we're even on that 17-hour trip. He gained 2 additional hours. So he would have had additional time than that, which is crazy to me. A half a day, literally 12 hours to do something. So I'm sitting here thinking about it. And so basically what she said is, if it was with her experience and everything that she knows, they would make sure he would not be found. Period. In every literal sense that made. Not under the ground, not in the water, that he wouldn't be found. And then you look back on the fact that it could be a freezer. That's one of the easiest ways to kind of get something that, power tools, again, don't want our minds to go there, but, we do have to think about how to get rid of a package. And so we have to entertain these very sickening and disgusting, deplorable things. But one thing we have to understand, and I don't think it hit me until this morning, Katie and Chris are trained to kill. Period. They are trained not only to kill, but to know how to handle that. And we cannot take that away. Our military is not trained to go and save kitty cats. They are trained to have the stomach that me and you do not have. And we have to apply that here in every sense. Because these people will be desperate and they need to get rid of a problem that has been lingering on and lingering on. And now it's come to a head. This is the situation we have. Could a freezer be used? Yes. Could it not? Yes. But Chris had time to do something. And if we were to apply that, if something like this happened, there would be nothing left of him, then we need to go and look at some out of the box thoughts like freezers, because that makes things a lot easier to go through. Anybody in the military knows what chemicals to use, how to find those chemicals. We got to remember that Chris was on a job site. Lye and lime and whatever it is that they use, those are typically used for concrete. So would those things be on grounds? Possibly. Are there any materials missing from the job site? So now I'm looking at the possibility of nothing being left. What do we do in a situation like that? I mean, it is a possible reality. I'm not saying it is. This is just a perspective. And I'm still getting some clarifying remarks from this person. So I'd like to get that in. But you know what? We haven't found him. And Chris disappeared for a really long time after he disappeared. Or any extra materials order for his job site? That's a great question. Only law enforcement would be able to answer that. I don't even think employees would know, because orders are handed by a different department. I don't know. My problem is if they went like all in to completely vaporize, basically, I don't know how Chris and Katie can look at Faith. Like, it literally blows my mind. Like, I am like literally, I don't know, losing my stuff because I never even thought about that. If you guys know, I was talking about above ground, underground, or in the water. Those are my 3 possibilities. Never once did I think about total gone. But we just got off the Pasco County case, and we know that what was left of that family is literally rubble in a burn pit. And these were not small individuals. These were very large people burned to dust in a pit. They literally found a few bones that were heavily charred. A family. I have to believe that the mom was over 300 pounds. Over 300 pounds. And her boyfriend had to have been just about as you're talking about 600 pounds being burnt to ash in a matter of a day. Or half it, who knows? He called his friend at 2. Law enforcement was over there by the afternoon. And the burn pit was smoldering, but nothing was in it. So you have to take that into consideration. Where would Chris have enough time to do something like that if that was the case? Now, she didn't say anything about burning. She actually, more in line of scattering, if you will. Scattering. And boy, can you scatter quite a lot driving 3.5 hours or even 2 hours away. You can do a lot of scattering, if you will, of it's upsetting me very, very, very much to even think right now. It's got me a little bothered, but it's a true possibility that could have happened without a doubt. And this is not science fiction or hocus pocus. It does happen, and it could happen. And you know what? Military people would have the stomach for it. Hey, Miss Harmony. It's nice to see you, my love. I hope you're doing well today. If Ellie wanted to do cadaver and search the house again, couldn't they get a warrant if they refuse? Yeah. Well, one of the things we're learning, I got to go through all these emails so I can get these cleared out, because I need to find the emails related to the forensics, because that was interesting. You know, there was a lot of people that sent me some laws, federal laws, as well as the National Center of Missing and Exploited Children, their policies and procedures, and I believe some state laws that were right in line with that. They sent those to me, and they got kind of buried in all the other emails, so I've got to unearth those again, because and they were just sent to me just a few days ago too. But they had a lot of information, and I think we're going to be enlightened a lot about the forensic aspect. And if they haven't done this yet, we need to be screaming bloody murder. I mean, we really need to be screaming bloody murder, because all of the laws, all of the recommendations is that room at minimum should have been forensically tested by now, at minimum, according to all of the experts and all of our nonprofits that cover these types of situations, such as the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. So I don't know if Sumner has followed those guidelines in this case. And they even have special guidelines for autistic children that I saw. You know? So, you know, what gives here? And is there forensics? Like, why won't they even just tell us that the forensics have been done, so we can kind of, you know, it just doesn't matter. I have a sour taste in my mouth with Eric Craddock. I know he's doing his job, but damn it, you know, justice should be prevailing right now. And this lady is out walking around with another child in her care. With another child in her care. And she is she's potentially, you know, lost her stuff. Had, you know, a mental breakdown, if you will. Unprovoked. I feel like the way they're doing, they're putting another child at risk. And I don't see why everybody's okay with that or comfortable with that, especially that law enforcement department. That's got me pretty freaking scared, if you ask me. I'm very fearful of Nina's daughter. I'm very fearful for her safety. Hey, Lulu, it's nice to see you. Betty, Ellie wanted to do a cadaver. Oh, yeah, that's that. I think it took 2,000 degrees to incinerate a body. Wow. Well, they must have had that fire pit like super hot, because I mean they were, I know he had to have had help, period. He, like, those were large people, and he was so tiny. I mean, I don't know how he did it, but he's telling law enforcement he did it off of adrenaline. I don't know. I think he's covering somebody's butt. I'm sorry. I don't see how he could have done that. I really don't. All by himself. But, you know, truth is stranger than fiction. Truth is stranger than fiction. Mom laughed. We seen your message about 10 times. I'm sure she's seen it. Mom's laugh. No, I don't really. Mom's life. These people was not out in the field, correct? Sometimes you do have to kind of spam a little bit if you're trying to get some. Betty, not all military personnel are trained that way. Didn't these folks only work with cameras in the Navy? No. No. Katie's no. And even if it doesn't matter. If you're on a boat and you're out there in the water, every military person is trained in fighting combat. Is trained with their guns and stuff like that. Everybody has to be trained. Everybody, because you never know when a boat's going to be taken over. You know, that's why you have these. I mean, if they would have other people, they could outsource some of the stuff. You know, the reason why they have the Navy men on that boat as engineers and electricians is because they're also trained to protect themselves as somebody comes on or takes them hostage or things like that. They need them trained to kill, as well as trained in, engineering, and keeping a boat afloat. Yeah, but they also need to be able to protect themselves out on that water. So I unless they're like an office gig or like a civilian type of job, it is my understanding boot camp is boot camp as in boot camp. It's boot camp for everyone, no matter what field you're going into. You are trained to kill. But Betty, if Ellie wanted to do, okay, I keep going backwards. At least that's my understanding. And somebody in the military would be more attuned to tell you. But I can tell you that my stepfather, he wasn't in active combat, and they taught him how to. He was, behind the scenes, higher up, but didn't really travel out of the country, But he was trained. At least that's my understanding as well. Betty, do we even know for sure he even made it home that night he went missing? Nobody outside of the well, yes, I do believe that people saw him after that night. I believe he is on camera. I believe it is him taking the garbage out that night. And I believe the reason I believe he came home is not because of the garbage can or the video. It's the shoes. The shoes and the shoes alone are what's giving me the thought that he came home, because I feel like if he was unalived out there, nobody would be thinking about his damn shoes. I think the shoes were the fatal flaw. I think the shoes were meant to be on his feet. I think if the shoes were on his feet, we wouldn't be here right now. So I think it was really the fatal flaw, their mistake that they made in this whole situation. That's me personally. I think a lot of us agree the military is not taught how to dispose unless... right, no. But still, it's just like any type of... and I'm not trying to say that. I'm just using an example of the people in Pasco. I'm not saying that they know how to. I'm saying that they're trained to deal with more than we, the public, are trained to deal with. With their experience and their training, if they were put on a spot like this, because people, when you have to deal with something you've never dealt with before, you've got to dig deep in your learnings and your experience in something to fix this problem. We talk about that, so this is the situation. I want military trained people under this particular stress to tell me how they would react. And because they're the ones that were trained by our military. So I'm trying to see how their brains would work to process the information in this situation that nobody would have been in, but they would have still had to navigate. That's what I'm looking for. No shoes, he would have run off from them if he tried to get away. I know that. Well, I mean, if somebody in law enforcement, I mean, are we really going to split hairs? To be fair, Ellie's trained to kill too. That's not that. People aren't getting the point. You're focusing on the stuff that doesn't matter. The point is, whoever's trained to kill, okay? Most of it's our military, okay? Our police officers are trained in shooting and stuff like that. But our military is actually trained to go in, sneak into homes, do all this stuff, and, people. You understand what I'm trying to say? Let's not split hairs here. That's what I'm talking about. I'm trying to take their experience and find out how they would apply to disposing of a package, because I need their insight, because those are the type of people I'm working with. Law enforcement, typically, when you have a law enforcement, they're usually, most of those people have been military trained before. So yes, I understand law enforcement and train, but I'm not dealing with, Chris and Katie are not law enforcement. They're military. I'm looking for a military mind, not a law enforcement mind. That's what I'm trying to say. I mean, yeah, but I don't like splitting hairs. I don't like splitting hairs. That had nothing to do with what I was trying to say. It's a military thing, not a police thing. It's about CP and KP military experience she's talking about, exactly. 20 years here. Okay, Alan. Thank you. And I don't want to hear you telling me call 911. Okay, we're not calling 911. Okay, you're my husband. I'm calling you up. I'm freaking out. I just unalived our kid. I need your help to take care of getting him out of the house and doing whatever. What would you do? Where would you take him? What would you do? What would your method be? I don't want you saying that in my chat, though. That's the one thing. I can't have you saying it in my chat. I don't want it to be torn apart. But I would like you to email me it. I would like you to email me at bullhornbetty@gmail.com and tell me your theory, because I need military. I need my military people to stand up and tell me what they would do in a situation like this. Where would you go? What would you do? Think about your wife calling you. We got a big problem here. You're the man of the house. You've got to come take care of it, because if you don't, I'm going to spend the rest of my life in jail. I need, now go, Write it down. Write it down and send it to me at bullhornbetty@gmail.com, because I need to know what the military trained mind, body, and soul would do in that type of stressor. That type of stressor, that's what I need. I need to find out what somebody would do with that type of stressor. This is something that nobody's dealt with before. Chris and Katie haven't dealt with this before. We haven't dealt with this before. You haven't dealt with this before, right? We're wanting to find out how would, under certain stressors, boom, you get a call, you need to act right now. What would you do? That's what I'm looking for. So, and I didn't mean to, Mia, if I offended you, I'm sorry, but I don't like splitting hairs when I'm trying to make a point, and especially it just caught me on a wrong day, because I'm already a little raw from all the crap that's going on that's unnecessary, that I did not. The only thing I'm doing is trying to help in a case, and I don't think that warrants being threatened at all. Especially when I go out of my way and make sure not to say anything negative about anyone. But if they're going to continue to harp on me, of course I'm going to say something. Who wouldn't? And then they act like they're the victim. Oh my God, she was being so mean, because you started it. I have never attacked a creator on this platform ever in my life. They attacked me and I've reacted. Big difference. So I just want it to go away, right? I just want to be able to do my true crime. I want these animals to leave me alone. If they don't like it, stay on their own damn platform. We don't go over there. They come over here. So they have daddy doggy paddles and freezer, cold water for hours. Get close. I don't know. Stop bloody shouting. Cross talking. Okay, well then you can go somewhere. It's idiots like that. I just hate. I hope, I you know what, at this point, I hope you get hit by a truck, like I do. I'm getting so sick of everybody being so nasty to me and not caring about Tracy, if you do, I won't shed a tear. Karma, karma, karma. And I don't like saying that, but you know what? I'm getting sick and tired of you guys not having value for me, and I'm supposed to be this person that's supposed to have value for you. I don't. Okay? Go get bent. If something happens to you, don't come here crying. I don't care anymore. Okay? I care about my victims. I don't care about you mouthy bitches. Why does law enforcement keep saying no foul play? I call BS. They're not really saying no foul play. After they said that they're leaning toward foul play, there's just no evidence of foul play, they shut up after that, if you guys recall. So I'd have to say that they didn't want to make the leap and say, hey, we got foul play going on over here, right? So I think I don't think they're saying there's no foul play. That's what they said, 3 months ago. But we're 3 months later and we haven't heard hide nor hair of law enforcement. So, and until we hear it from them that there's no foul play, I'd have to say they're hiding. Just like, think about it. Put Jonathan in it, right? They hide when they don't want to have to tell you the truth, right? They go run. You become a security threat. It's kind of funny. The people out here are the security threat for Sumner County. So they're keeping us hush hush. They're keeping us hush hush. They're keeping us hush hush. Aw, there we go. Sounds like we got a lot of ignorant people coming from these uneducated channels over here trying to get attention this morning. These uneducated idiots. They probably won't show their face, but love to run behind the keyboard and do some nasty stuff like little cowards. I wonder if any of them will actually show their face. Oh, well. Now my prop up. We're still on the road for Sebastian Rogers. We're still going to continue to go down this. We're still going to have to deal with a lot of trolls. We're going to still have to deal with them beating up Bullhorn Betty because I'm kicking their ass on these streets with real facts why they got nothing. Because they're idiots. They're uneducated idiots with a microphone and an opinion, definitely not a fact in their back pocket. So God bless you guys. We'll see you soon. And I will still keep rocking it out with my coffee beans out. And I still will do it unintimidated. Just saying.